All right, you guys. Today I'm talking about being honest. If you read my post about like a little sneak peek into a coaching call, and at the beginning it was all about being lonely, but then at the end I wrapped it up with saying how I started to think about how important it is to be honest in motherhood and how being honest in our journey is very helpful, especially for other moms who are new moms and may not feel like what they're going through is what others are going through. But so I want to talk about two things with like the two sides of the coin with being honest. One, it is so important to be honest with yourself, with your husband, with your partner, whoever is helping you raise this child. It's so important to be honest with your mother in law, like anyone who is in your life as you are like entering this journey into motherhood. It is so important to be honest with them, but especially with yourself, because that is how you will feel a little bit less alone at times, of course. And so I just want to reiterate how important it is to be honest with yourself, how you're actually doing, how you're actually feeling, and don't feel this is kind of the second side of the coin. Don't feel bad or don't feel like you're, not being grateful or you're not being thankful for these moments with your baby. Like that is not needed in this scenario, in this situation. When you're being honest with yourself and you're telling others, like, for example, I was telling my husband the other night how, like, honestly, today was really hard. This was like, I think Sunday or Saturday. I was like, you were home, yes, but you went out and you mowed the lawn for, an hour and a half. And then you came in and then you went to Lowe's. And like, I get it, you have stuff to do. Totally understand. But she, like, every time he came in, she was like, not like screaming, she was just like yelling. She's finding her voice. But it was a lot for me. Like, I felt very overwhelmed because I had stuff that I wanted to get done too. And so I was just like, honestly, today was kind of a hard day. And in that moment, like in the day, I felt very alone because I was like, wow, okay, I guess I'm just going to like do all of this while you go and do everything that you want to do. And so I could, like, as I was telling him, like, today was pretty hard. I did have this moment of like, oh, don't, like, this little, person in the back of my mind saying, like, don't be upset. Like, don't be ungrateful that you got to have these moments with your daughter at home. And that's exactly what my client was saying too. And so it's funny because I'm like, I totally get it. Like, I'm right there with you. But the difference in between our reactions and the difference between how we, handle these situations is large because I, when I say like I'm telling him these things and I'm feeling a little ungrateful, it's pretty quick where my brain will be like, no, 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 like that doesn't serve you to think that right now. And that's the truth. It doesn't serve me to think that like me complaining, me venting, me getting it off my chest and telling my husband how I honestly feel, that doesn't mean that I'm ungrateful. Like, that's not what that means. Although that's what our brains try and tell us that's what it means. But I really want to make that distinction. And I really want your brains to think about that too. That in that moment, as you're saying, like today was really hard, that doesn't mean that you were like ungrateful for those moments. It was just a lot at once, and that's okay. You you have those days, you have those times where it's a lot, but that doesn't mean you would necessarily, not be thankful for them. It's just, it's different in the moment. So I want to just kind of remind everybody to be honest with yourself and be honest with your partner. Talk to anyone that will listen, talk to a coach, talk to me about like what you are going through. And it's so helpful for you to feel less alone. And it's so helpful for others too, because then they can be like, oh, wow, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, that's so nice to hear that your baby doesn't go down for a nap every time right away. Because it's true. It's the honest answer. And we want more of that. We need more of that in the world, especially in the world of social media. So that's what I have for you today. It might be a little bit more of a rant than usual, but I just really, really want you guys to think about how important honesty is. And if you're going through it, that's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're less grateful. Don't feel like you're not as appreciative of every single moment. Just go through it and tell yourself, don't worry, even though I'm like upset right now, it doesn't mean that I'm not thankful for these moments. But let me do this. Let me process through this. Let me be honest with myself with no judgment. Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.